I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think every Juve fan, I think anyone watching this video, you already know what I'm about to say. Juventus are unbeaten. They remain unbeaten, but guess what? How did they remain unbeaten? Did they win the game? No, they drew once again. 13 draws. I don't think I've ever seen something like this in my life. And I watch so much football. I probably watch too much football. I've never ever seen a team 13 times they draw a game of football. And as crazy as this may sound, I think Juventus played well. I'll be so honest with you guys. I watched that game. At moments, Juventus were on the back foot. And you could make a case Atalanta should have scored. Juventus looked open. But from watching every single Juventus game this season, I don't know if this was just a game that I enjoyed. I found it very entertaining. I found it end to end. I feel like either team could have won it. But for me, when I look at this Juventus performance in comparison to what I've seen of the past few months, I feel like Juventus actually played well. Especially when I take into consideration the opposition. Atalanta, Gasperini, away from home. Tough ground. Tough atmosphere. Tough stadium, tough coach, tough team. But listen, guys, Juventus, 13 draws. Juventus remain unbeaten. The question marks on Thiago Motta, I feel like they're growing game after game. Juventus fans are frustrated, and I completely understand. But before we get into everything, if you're new, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the like button. It helps the channel grow. But I always love to see what you guys have to say in the comments. So let's get into it. I don't know where to start. I feel like I'm going to dedicate a video because the reason why, in my opinion, Juventus played well, I felt like they deployed something different. And I'm going to dedicate a video to this for tomorrow morning. But in summary, I felt like Juve, Motta, they understood what Atalanta stand for and what Atalanta's strengths are. Their strengths are their relentless press off the ball. They press in numbers. They push the entire team forwards into the opposition half. Where Juve got the most joy today, and even when you look at the goal from Kalulu, what a run. But when you look at it, I felt like Juve understood playing out of the back, it's not going to work today every single time. So at times, beat the opposition press by going long into the channels. And there's a reason why they consistently kept 2-3 players on the halfway line. It was a way for them to beat the press. And listen, even when you look at the goal, ball over the top, Weston McKennie. Hey, Weston McKennie was looking like the light-skinned Zidane today. But I'm going to dedicate one entire minute to praising him. But that's where I felt like Juve, Motta understood the game, understood the opposition. But it still wasn't good enough as the game ended 1-1. But Weston McKennie, guys, I watched Weston McKennie at Leeds. He got relegated with Leeds. He wasn't good enough at Leeds. What Weston McKennie has done this year in a Juve shirt, bearing in mind he's been treated like a utility player. What is a utility player? If there's injuries, if there's suspensions, you just come in and fill in the gap. One day left back, one day right back, one day as a number 6, one day as a number 8, one day in attack. Sometimes throughout games, he has to go play on the wing. I was just watching Weston McKennie today. Atalanta couldn't get the ball off him. They couldn't tackle him. They couldn't stop him. Like, when Weston McKennie gets going, there's just no stopping him. He's like a power runner. Like, when you look at the goal, gets the ball, turns, boom, 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 charges forwards, the weight of the pass into Kalulu, into a zone that basically tells Kalulu, you have to now run onto this and strike it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to think. You don't have to control it. Just run, shoot. It was an amazing pass, but it was an amazing carry. I don't know if you guys saw it towards the end of the game. Under pressure in his own box, flicking it over players' heads. Like, the best way for me to put it, I feel like sometimes when watching Juve, if all of these Juve players had the mentality of a Weston McKennie where they give 120%, they understand what it means to put on a Juve shirt and the expectations, the demands, Juventus would be a far better team. But he is a player that's leading by example. And for me, he is undroppable. But a player that is droppable, you guys know who it is. It's Koopmeiners. Against his former team, he had opportunities. I'll be honest with you guys. Like today, I felt like him and Nico Gonzalez. Like I felt like all of the players in attack, they were like interchanging with one another. Like 1 minute it's Nico leading the line, then it's Koopmeiners leading the line. Koopmeiners was getting opportunities. He was getting the ball into dangerous areas. The amount of times Juve found him behind the Atalanta defense, and now you're just asking him to run onto the ball, carry it forwards 20, 30 yards, get a shot on goal. This dude, it felt like he was running in sand. He was running on sand, bro. Like, he's slow. He lacks aggression. He lacks tenacity. He lacks strength. Like, he's running with the ball. And all it takes is one arm across him from like a Scalvini and he's gone. He drops to the floor. He loses control of the ball. Koopmeiners has been horrible week in, week out. But it's like the performances keep getting worse and worse and worse. And me personally, the way I like to judge managers is I always say, judge a manager of play style, judge a manager of results, but most importantly, judge a manager on what he can get out of his best players, his most prized assets. I look at Koopmeiners, what, 50, 55 million from Atalanta. Everybody saw what he done in an Atalanta shirt over the past few years. When he walked into Juve, he walked in as a star. Like, he walked in, and every Juve fan probably told themselves, he's going to be one of our best players. He's going to be an attacker that starts week in, week out. He's going to be a player that decides us games. He ain't deciding shit at the moment. He really, really, really isn't. He's looking like a liability. He's looking like a player. The shirt is too heavy for him. Like, he can't handle the pressure and the demands of playing for Juve. Because I now look at Motta, I'll be honest, because like I said, I judge managers of play style, I judge them of results, I judge them of player management, I judge them on how they carry themselves in the media, but I also judge a manager on what he can get out of a team's best players. Is Motta getting anything out of Koopmeiners? No. And the word around town that I keep seeing on social media and everywhere is maybe it's time to abandon the 4-2-3-1 formation, because Koop, in that 10, he isn't the best of connectors. Like, playing with his back to goal, that technical security, that close ball control, the ability to scan, look left and right, ping passes, doing it in like very congested areas where you've only got like 1-2 seconds and you need to be quick. He's not quick. I don't think he's quick in his thinking. I don't think he's quick in his movement, in his reactions. He needs time and space on the ball. And every Juve fan has been saying it's time to abandon the 4-2-3-1, maybe go back to a 4-3-3 where you've got a lone sitter, 2 interiors, 2 box-to-boxes, similar to how he was utilised at Atalanta. Motta sticking with the 4-2-3-1, as much as there's some benefits to it in terms of you've got the double pivot, which means you've got extra security when defending, it's not getting anything out of Juve in the final third, and it's not getting anything out of a £55 million player. It isn't. And here's how I look at it. If you're going to be stubborn and you're going to persevere with a formation, you better make sure either the performances are good or you're getting results over the line. And that's why I understand when Juve fans are disappointed and angry, because they're thinking we're persevering with a formation and a play style where the team isn't playing good and the team isn't getting results over the line. So why are you sticking to it? At the moment, this 4-2-3-1 that Motta's deploying at Juventus, there's more negatives than positives. Like, this is a team that's drawn 13 games. 13 games. I don't know. I really feel like as much as there were positives in terms of they found a way to play around Atalanta, the negatives are the so-called best players are not performing. These players are being tried all over the pitch. They're not performing. When they're not performing, they hinder all of the other players. And with Motta, he has to now make that tough decision. Either he changes the formation in hope of getting something out of these players, or drop the players that aren't performing. That's the best way to look at it. Like, I personally would put Kenan in the centre as that roaming number 10. I'd play Mbangula, because when he plays, he gives 110%. You could see some quality. You could see some consistency. As an attacking player, he's impactful. Koopmeiners is not impactful. He genuinely looks like a player that's drowning out there, but that's starting week in, week out and embarrassing himself in front of the whole world. Like I said, I will dedicate a video as to how I feel Juventus got it right from a tactical standpoint. Hopefully, I can get it out tomorrow. But having said all of that, if you're new, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to let me know if you're in the comments. And I'll catch you guys on another one.